Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit, and I'm here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, well, guess what? You can go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. Sorry, my voice, I got caught there. That's also all right if you just want to lurk. That's what I meant to say. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. It is a Thursday. And the agenda is we're going to continue working on the Gundam Vidar. Gundam Vidar, which was sent to me by DSHS. Thank you very much, DSHS, for this beautiful kit. We have completed the head and the chest. We have completed, we're almost done with one arm, and then we're going to be working on the other arm. And then when we're done with the arms, we did the shoulders as well. We'll put that stuff together, and then we'll start working on, I assume the feet are the next step after that, because that's usually the thing. Yeah, we'll get all the arms together, and then we'll start working on, oh, actually, no. We'll start working on the left leg and then the right leg. They don't have me do the feet first. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Usually, you do, yeah, so we'll do a little bit of the frame and then do that. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well out there, internet folks. Thank you all so much for being here. A reminder, and I will remind you probably 2 more times on this stream, but we'll just start off right off the bat, that this Saturday, I will take a pause on the Vidar so that I can start building the Shining Gundam Master Grade. This is a kit that I built the first time on stream, on my very first stream. So I'll be celebrating my 8th anniversary as a streamer by doing that. So I hope you can come by. Obviously, I won't finish the kit on that stream, but I'm going to get started with it, and I think it'll go pretty great. It's a very lovely kit. This is now going to be, I want to say, one of only like 2 or 3 kits that I've built now like 3 times, the exact same kit, because I built it in the 90s. I built it on my very first stream, you know, in the first several streams, obviously. And now I'll build it for a 3rd time. And I've only done that with, I did the Death Scythe Master Grade. I built that 3 times, maybe even 4 times. But I built it on the stream twice, because I got a really good deal on that Master Grade, and I was like, I'm going to build it again. I have never, we'll say this, because I'll have more to say on Saturday, but I'll just let you know, as we can see what we've worked on here. I've never built a kit multiple times by mistake. It's always been on purpose. But I've built Master Grades, Death Sights more than once, generally because I got a good deal on it, and I just kind of wanted to. I think also that Master Grade I built on stream, I had like I just didn't feel good about that build, so, but I do feel good about this build. You can see where I left off here, because I did use the marker to let me know this was where I left off. So we continue working on this arm. We'll get this arm done, and then we'll do the other arm. So we'll need, and we got to panel line this and all that. You get the trick. You get it. You know what I'm doing. We need I is over here. Let me pull this forward a little bit. So I've been doing a little bit of stuff, like I'm not going to do a refresh of my logo or how I make my promo images or anything like that. I've been doing the slightest of slight changes here. I've bumped up to 60 frames per second. So we had our first gaming stream on Tuesday at 60 frames. It was Hearthstone. I'm still running at 1080p, so you know, it's like I'm not doing like anything too buck wild, but I am like looking at ways to kind of change some stuff around a little bit. I also redid, I readjusted everything with the overhead camera, which shouldn't be any different to you. The only thing that should be actually a little different is that the stand, that the piping stand that my camera is on was getting loose, and it meant that when my table shook, the camera was also shaking. Right now, this shake is just Any shake here is just my table moving a little bit, but it was shaking the camera, and I have to be very conscious of that because that's awful for viewers. So I believe I have fixed that issue, and we will not run into that again for a while anyway. Eventually we will, because like I said, it's only as good as what's holding it up, and so eventually it will stop being great about that. Let's see, and where do you go? You go like this. Like that? Yeah, you go like that. Okay, well, no, you don't. It looked like you go there. I will say this master grade instruction booklet, not my favorite as far as master grades instruction go. And it's wild because this is a kit from this year. You know, like obviously some of the designs got done in a previous year, but this is a 2025 instruction booklet. Like this is a modern booklet, and I have and some of the designs of this, some of these pieces are the internal frame anyway, are the same as the Barbatos Master Grade, which came out like 5 years ago. So it's not like some of these components and design are not brand new for sure. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that that's what I'm saying. But the booklet is new, like explaining where these pieces go and how they go together is certainly not old. So that's frustrating. Because yeah, I know that doesn't go back here. I can see where this piece is, I think, supposed to go. It's supposed to go here. But it's not. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about where that's supposed to go. I don't think it's supposed to go there. I don't think it's supposed to go there. Is this in the wrong place? I don't think so. Yeah, it makes sense that correct. Let's see if I can figure this out here. Like, this is where it should go. And it's weird that it doesn't. Let's see. While I try to figure this piece out and figure out why this isn't going together, and remember, as always, you don't want to force anything because it might just be that I'm reading the instructions wrong. Like it's not clear. It's generally my fault when something just doesn't go together right. It's because I'm not understanding the instructions, and either the instructions are bad or my understanding of the instructions are bad. And that's usually the case. It's generally not that like, oh, this thing just doesn't. They didn't do this right. It's usually like I'm just not understanding, and it could be that it's confusing, but it's usually on me. So if this piece, like there are two slots that look like that's where they go, and this like looks like it goes here. It kind of fits, but then it doesn't stay in place. It would need to snap in there, and it doesn't snap in there. And so it's like, well, why isn't it snapping in there? Like, what I do wrong? We'll do the old double check to make sure that I don't have the wrong number. Okay, that's I-10 and I-12. Yeah, so that's I-10 and I-12. This is I-10. I-10, they point me at part of the arm here. And again, there's two little spots for this to go. Like, it'd be nice if there was like a line that's like, feels loose, if that's what they want. And I don't think that's what they want. So like, I don't, but this just falls right off. Like it's not fitting anywhere. And so I'm like, okay, did I do something wrong about how this arm goes together? Is there something I'm not getting about how this arm goes together? Like, is it actually like, did I put this together backwards, which wouldn't make any sense, but like, no, it doesn't fit on the other side either. And it's like, okay, well, did I do this piece wrong? No, that snapped in just fine. So I don't think I did this piece wrong. Like, look again, but yeah, that really does go in there pretty much perfectly. I feel like that's right. This isn't, and I don't know why. As I always say, it'll feel better when I do it the second time. But I don't know if that's true. Okay, and that came off. Man, bashing my head against the wall on this. Okay. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, that feels right, and that looks right. And then I come to this piece. I don't know. I'm going to put it here. It doesn't feel right. I'm going to hope that when I put the back piece on, it suddenly feels better. Like I don't know what else to do. Either it will suddenly work right once I put the back parts on, the next step on, or it'll fall right off. But I'm going to leave it like this just for now and see what happens. That's the best I can do. So I'll need E9. I don't feel great about it, but we'll figure it out. You know, sometimes that's all you can do is just be like, okay, well, we'll see how it feels. We'll see how it looks and how it works. And then a G1. My big thing today, my big event today was that I concluded my business with Verizon. I am no longer a customer with Verizon for the first time in many, many years. I want to say, it's been a long time. I've had Verizon. So the very first cell phone I had was a phone that didn't have voicemail. It was, you bought minutes for it on cards at like the mall or online. It was very bare bones. It was great, but it was very bare bones. So I just like bought credits for it online. And it did, or at cards like at the mall, and it didn't have it. Basically, if the number, if it wasn't in service on the subway, okay, well, no one can call you. And I had that for a little while, and then eventually I got a phone number and a phone line, and that was my first phone. And that phone number I still have to this day, and that was on Verizon. And at first, I didn't have I didn't have an iPhone for many years, but I had this phone, and I had this number. But I have been with Verizon since I moved to New York, so I want to say probably 2001, if not older than that. But definitely when I moved to New York, I got like a real phone. Because 2000, when I was in New Jersey for a bit, I want to say that phone was not. I want to say at that time, the thing I had was not. What do you call it? What word am I looking for? Oh yeah, that was not that phone, so that was not Verizon. But since then, I've had Verizon, and I'm off of Verizon as of right now. Now, technically, I am still on Verizon, which is a weird thing to say, but it is technically true because I'm on Visible, which is owned by Verizon. It's not a Verizon account, and I had to get rid of my Verizon account and close that today. But Visible is just like one of those you pay at the beginning of the month, and you have like a small line of abilities on your plan. And then also you eventually, if you go over your plan, then they charge you like a ton. But it's on the Verizon network, and it's really fucking cheap, and I'm going with Visible. I looked at Mint. I thought Mint looked pretty okay. Their ads really annoy me, but I went with Visible because they are on Verizon, and I like Verizon's network. I've never had issues with it. The thing I've said is I was never going to get off Verizon. And I've said that for a very long time, for the very simple reason that when the blackout happened in New York in the 2000s, Verizon didn't stop working the entire weekend. It worked the entire time. It network worked in New York whenever all my friends' phone systems, were going down and they didn't have service and they couldn't call people anymore. I could still do that. I could still call people. So I had kind of just decided that I'm going to stick with it because when I needed it, it worked, and it worked everywhere and all that. And then also, like, it worked in Connecticut when I was visiting my folks when they still lived there, and it works here in South Carolina. So I was like, I'll just keep on Verizon. You might wonder, Pat, why did you choose to get off that network? Why did you choose to go a different way? And the easy answer to that is a very incredibly simple answer. I paid off my phone. My current phone, I have been paying monthly a charge for it. I'm paying it off. I paid it off, and then they were like, "Great, your phone bill's gonna go up." I was like, "Wait, what? My phone bill's going up." And that's what happens when you pay off your phone, is that they can then charge you more. And that is a shocking thing to realize. I figured it out. I put the part of the arm together wrong, and then this slotted right in when I fixed it. So I'm going to preemptively do that on this side. So this piece is the end here that connects to the wrist, basically, and I put it on wrong. It's supposed to be like this. And if I do that, then this piece slides right in. I fucked up. Now, was this super clear? No, it was not super clear. So it's also on them, because I said these instructions are not the clearest instructions, but it was also on me, and I fucked that up. So there we go. Problem solved on that, and I fixed it for future Pat, which is just in a little bit. Anyway, going back to this. So, like I said, my phone bill, which I always thought my phone bill was high because I was paying off of a phone. Because, like, when I paid off the last phone that I had, my phone bill dropped when I did that. I paid it off. I did the monthly thing. I did it as long as they wanted me to. I didn't pay it off early. I was just going through the motions. And then eventually I paid off my phone, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I had it for a while, and then I upgraded. In this case, I paid off my phone. It was done. And then Verizon was like, great, here's your new, here's what your bill's going to be next month. And it was higher. It was like $15 higher. And if I upgraded to a new phone, which was, of course, free, it wasn't going to cost me any money to upgrade to a new phone. If I upgraded to a new phone, then my bill would go down to about where it was. So it was going to be $90-something, basically, was going to be the new bill, and it's normally 80-something, which is still very fucking high. So let's just do Verizon. I'm going to look up Verizon. I want to see if I can find how much it was going to be here. Let's see. Bill is ready. Received payment. I can't remember what it was. But it was going to go up. It already was almost $90. It was going to be almost $100 there. I found it. And that's too much for what I was getting. For what I was getting for that phone, I'm just like, no, that's not happening. As Lesper says, that's messed up. I'm glad my carrier hasn't done that yet, because I like to keep a phone for a good while. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the phone I have. It's old. Believe me, it's old. To get the payments as low as possible, I went with like an upgrade that was a big upgrade from my previous phone, but not a super big upgrade. And now I'm going to have that phone until it dies, and then I'm going to get whatever phone I can get that has an eSIM. And I guess, I'll get whatever I can as cheaply as I can, and then just transfer it over, and that'll be fine. But yeah, I'll tell you, Visible, the plan I'm getting, which is like the basic plan, is $25 a month. So I am saving money on that. That is ridiculously cheap comparatively in general, and also comparatively. That's just wild. Sorry, let me double check what my plan is. I am not, this is not a me trying to get you to get in on this service. I do have a referral if people want to message me for it. I do have a referral, and I will give that referral out because that way I save money. But oh, they want me to do 2-factor. They're gonna send me 2-factor. Great, I get to do 2-factor. I get to set up my 2-factor right now. They're sending me a 2-factor, and then I have to send them a code. So sorry, this is not something I should be doing on stream, but it is what's happening here. So hold on. I gotta do this without saying it out loud, which is how I like to do that for myself. And trust the device. All right. So a friend of mine gave me a referral. And so I have, yes, okay, so, as of today, I'm paying $25, and I saved, I get $20 off next month, which is nice, because referral went through for my friend, so I got a discount, they got a discount. Let me just see what my plan is. I don't remember what my plan is, that's why I'm looking. Sorry that I don't remember. Okay, well, it doesn't easily tell me what this plan is. There we go. So I have the $25 plan, which is unlimited data, talk and text on Verizon's 5G, because it's owned by Verizon, piggybacks on Verizon. That's great. I'm happy about that. Get some robocall blocked, which is nice. I can do some kind of nonsense thing. I can watch 480 video. Apparently it won't let me watch HD video for this money, but I don't care about that. International talk and text to Mexico and Canada. And then I can get a global pass. And I can also get a discount off on Fios, which I don't need. So yeah, that's it. That's the plan. It's very basic, but it's $25 a month. But yeah, I can watch 480p video on the 5G. So that is probably where some people would go, oh, Pat, that sounds like ass. I don't want that. But for me, you have to remember that I work from home. I'm on Wi-Fi. Period. I'm just fucking on Wi-Fi, my dudes. I am occasionally, I am not on Wi-Fi. And you know when that is? When I go for a walk. Sorry, let me just see this here. Oh, okay. They're just telling me that they added a trusted device, which is true. It's true that we did that. But yeah, so when I don't have Wi-Fi, it's because the Wi-Fi is down in the apartment if the internet goes down. Which is like, okay, when that happens, I'm not watching video on my phone. I'm just not. That's just not what I do when the Wi-Fi goes down. And if I don't have Wi-Fi, it's because I'm going for a walk. And if I'm going for a walk, I just want my apps to work. Like, I want to play my Pokemon game. I want to play my Pokemon TGS game. I want to connect to that and open up some card packs. I can do that via the data that I have. I want to, occasionally I want to download a podcast because I forgot to download it before I went for my walk. I'm way better about that than I used to be, but occasionally I want to download a podcast. They ain't big podcasts. I don't want to watch YouTube. I don't want to watch Twitch on my phone. I just don't want to do any of that. So, on my cellular. So for me, incredibly cheap. If I worked in a place where I had to be doing stuff on my phone, if I was on a job and stuff like that, then yeah, I would probably get the better plan. I would pay more a month. their most expensive plan is still half what I was paying before to Verizon. So I ain't worried about it. And then also, you know, it's just cheaper. I was looking at Mint. Mint is like, the cheapest Mint plan is $15 a month, but you pay every 3 months, which I thought was okay, except what if I didn't like the service? Then I'm out, then I'm stuck with it for 3 months before I gotta go. And so I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Also, I did get a referral on this. So I save money next month, and also Harris saves money next month, which is cool. But he did say that he was enjoying the service anyway, and I appreciated that and trust Harris. That Harris wasn't going to guide me wrong. But yeah, that was my big thing today. It wasn't hard. Here's the thing that was kind of weird. The Visible app didn't like my Wi-Fi, which was like, ooh, that's weird. So I had to be on, I had to go cell phone only, turn off that. And so I was like getting off Verizon via Verizon, and that was strange. And then it worked fine. Once I didn't have a phone, a carrier hooked up to my phone, which was for a brief period there, I didn't. Then it worked fine on the Wi-Fi, but for a little while there it wasn't, and I was like, well, that's gonna be bad. That's the only thing I got to connect this to if that goes out. But that worked out okay. As I said, it all worked out. But there was a moment where I was like, if this goes south, it's gonna be a problem. And a reminder, folks, if you're gonna switch carriers, you got to go through the process. Don't cancel your account with your existing carrier, your existing provider, until you get on the new one. Because otherwise you'll lose your phone number. If you just go and cancel your AT&T or whatever, they'll take the number away from you. So if you want to keep your number, you got to transfer it and go through a whole thing. Which I knew, but I was glad to be reminded of. I didn't want to fuck that up. Speaking of which, I got to figure out how to get this connected here. How do you connect? Oh, there's a little piece right there. Goes in. Okay. Lord Crash says, you also have to listen to a message from Ryan Reynolds every day when you sign up for Mint Mobile. I mean, God. Those Mint Mobile ads are... That is alone... Like I said, I was going to go where a good deal was. I was going for a deal. But I certainly had my misgivings due to the ads I hear on podcasts for Mint Mobile with Ryan Reynolds. I'm just like, oof. I mean, you know, be an entrepreneur, get your bag, make your money, but Jesus, I didn't want to hear that guy. I was like, I'm good. Oh, it goes here. Okay, got this. Figured it out. But yes, so I have a new phone carrier, and right now I have no complaints. Will I have complaints later? Possibly. Will I be on here on a stream telling you, God damn it, I hate this. I fucked up. I fucked up bad. Maybe. I don't know. I'll tell you what. If I do have to go back to Verizon, which I fucking hope I don't. If I do have to go back to Verizon, you could bet your ass that I am, I'll upgrade my phone to get a good price. You know, to get a deal. I'll try to get a deal. I'll do whatever I gotta do, make it happen. But hopefully we're good here, and I don't have to worry about it. All right. I need B21. Is this one here? Great. So yeah, that was the big thing for me today. Was just doing all that. Feels good though. Feels good to know that my bill is like, I mean, my bill next month is going to be $83 less than my previous bill. And the only downside is that if the internet goes out, I can't watch video on my phone at a good rate. It'll be 480 or whatever. And it's like a thing I don't do. It's like, oh no. Oh no, I'll have to upgrade my plan or something if I really needed to. I guess if I was really, really in a bad way, I would just have to upgrade the plan. But I don't expect that to be a problem. All right, so I need some C pieces that are over here. All right, hopefully this arm will go much quicker than the previous arm because I have figured out what to do. I guess you could say. I certainly figured out that one problem I had and already fixed it, so we're good on that. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. And then we're also going to need C11, so I might as well get C11 out here just to get that out there. Yeah, so that was the big thing for me today, was getting that taken care of. I'm not going to go too much into this, but I am really bummed to hear that the Late Show with Stephen Colbert is going to be canceled eventually next season. And that is the end of the Late Show. So to be clear, it is not just that they're like no longer going to be working with Stephen Colbert, is that CBS is not going to have the Late Show. And they cited financials, which is a wild thing to say considering that it was one of the highest rated shows on CBS. And by financials, one would assume it was just they didn't want to keep paying the Trump administration to keep everything going because there was the whole thing of suits and lawsuits and all kinds of things of that nature. And they also want this big merger to go through, and they didn't want to get blocked. So they're just kowtowing, and it fucking sucks. Look, did I watch Colbert all the time? No. When it became clear several years ago that very few, if anyone was reading my packets that I was sending into these shows, once it became kind of clear that this is not going the way that I would like it to go, and it's not happening for me. But once that became clear, I kind of lost interest in watching some of the shows. I do watch them on occasion, but I'm not with a lot of regularity. If there was like a guest I was really interested in, if there was a stand-up doing one of the shows that I'm really interested in, then I'll check those out. But yeah, I'm not like super invested in them. But I still have friends that are like actively writing for those shows, that are working those jobs. And it's a real bummer. Brian Stack, one of the nicest men I've met in my life, certainly one of the best people working in entertainment, from Conan O'Brien for many, many years, has been writing for Colbert, and really bummed to hear that he will eventually be out of work. It's just, yeah, not something that not something I ever saw coming. Maybe Colbert ending, like that's, there's always an end for that kind of thing, certainly. But the idea that CBS is just going to be like, yeah, financials, we're going to get rid of late night. It's just like, oh, wild. I should say, to be clear, this is when they weren't going to give Letterman the job and they were giving the job to Leno on NBC. CBS was like, hey, David Letterman, do you want that slot but on our channel? And David Letterman was like, I fucking guess so. And that was 1993. So again, this is not the Johnny Carson legacy. We're not talking about that. CBS had many shows here and there. They tried many different ways to make those things happen. But that slot has existed for someone since 1993. Which is not the oldest thing in the world, but it's still a fucking legacy. Late Show franchise is going to retire in May of 2026. And that's just fucking insane. This is, you may remember that Paramount Paramount is attempting to be acquired by Skydance Media, which also might mean that this may be the first step in also, hey, who could also go? Jon Stewart could go. Daily Show could just end. If they say, well, we're ending the Daily Show, and they have the exact same reason, I would not be shocked for the exact same reason, because fuckers. That's it. That's all I got on that. It's just fuckers. There are fuckers out there, and their fuckers are going to keep fucking. But yeah. Look, I'm not looking conspiracy theories. I'm not talking about conspiracies. I am simply saying, hey, like, this shit seems fucked now. And Colbert going is unbelievably wild. Letting him finish the rest of the season should leave some interesting moments. Yeah, I mean, he did call the Mercher boneheaded. He did have shit to say about it. And to be perfectly honest, Colbert's bite has decreased steadily as he's been in there. As some people would say, as he got richer, perhaps his bite, his claws kind of decreased, but that is unfortunately a reality. That is not something that I was not shocked about when it seemed like maybe Colbert isn't really going for it like he used to. It's like, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I said, that was not something where I was like, that's bullshit. No, he's the same man he's always been. It's like, no. At a certain point, that mellowing happens. But yeah, now we'll see. Now we'll see what happens. Now we'll see what happens when the gloves come off and he's got till May. We'll see. We'll see where it takes him. Adam Schiff, who is the Democrat from California, the senator, basically was just like, he was literally on the show tonight, the taping that happened tonight. He was on the taping, and he's just like a guest, and he's like, if this happened because of politics, then the public needs to know. And it's like, yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. But also, yeah, you're not wrong. If this is definitely a political move, then you're not wrong that people should be aware of what's going on. But again, I don't know if that's going to do anything. Maybe you'll become unhinged like Conan. I mean, yeah, those last Tonight Show Conans were pretty out there. They were pretty wild in a way that was very fun to witness. But I don't know. I think Colbert will probably play ball a little bit more than Conan did on the way out. That's just my guess, is that it'll be a little bit like, all right, well, we'll see what we got there. Because, I assume that Colbert will want to keep working in the industry. And I don't know where that leads, but I assume he will. But it's fucking wild. Just weird. Hey, Charlie Guillemot. You might not know that name. You may have never heard of the Guillemot family. You may know them as the owners, the original founders of Ubisoft, the men in charge of that terrible organization. For all its many faults. Well, he's going to be co-leading a new subsidiary of Ubisoft that has been backed by Tencent. And don't worry, he understands that is nepotism. He's a nepo baby. He knows that. He's heard you. Co-CEO. He led the mobile Ubisoft-owned mobile studio Owlent. You may remember Owlent. for their mobile game that people were like, hey, are you just like spoofing Black Lives Matter as like a terrorist organization? And they were like, what? No, that's that studio. And then he left Ubisoft. He got out of Ubisoft so that he could run a Web3 firm named Unagi. And then he came back. And he will be co-CEO, who is the former head of a Montreal studio, or one of Ubisoft's Montreal studios, and the Ubisoft's managing director of North America, Christophe Durens. But basically, he's just like, don't worry about it. It's like, I'd like to address the question directly. I completely understand where it comes from, and I want to be clear about it. Yes, I'm Yves's son. That's not something I hide from. But my appointment isn't only about family ties. It's about what Ubisoft needs at this moment, which is not an answer to, hey, did you just get hired because you're the son of the owner? Because like, hey, I know that I'm his son, and I haven't hid that, which is like, that's not what people were asking. They weren't like, are you secretly his son? They were like, hey, you're his son. What the fuck? Are you qualified to do this? I've spent the last decade building experiences inside and outside of Ubisoft. Again, shitty experience, and shitty experiences, but experiences. Leading teams, managing brands, and navigating the change in fast-moving industry. I also made the conscious choice to step away when it made sense, to learn and grow elsewhere. Again, to chase Web 3.0, which of course failed. He failed, and now he's coming back to work for the family business. Again, reminder, 3 former executives probably going to prison. They won't go to prison, but they or at least have the opportunity to go to prison here. So it's like, cool, dude. Sounds great. What matters now isn't my name, it's the work ahead. That it doesn't matter that I'm his son. Yeah, dude acting like he went on an excursion. Yes, Lashbrook, yeah. Dude acting like he didn't step down from a sinking ship, jump off a sinking ship, which was his division, leaving to other people to pick up the pieces when that thing failed. And then went to and failed somewhere else and then came back. And then he's like, hey, my name isn't important. The work ahead is important. And it's like, okay. Sure, dude. Sure. Hey, do you actually understand what the work is? Are you ready for that work? Are you confident you know what the word means? So we'll fucking see. We'll see how that goes. Sorry, I got to figure out where this piece pops in. I did it on the other side. So I know this goes here. This goes like here. Okay, sorry. I had this figured out the last time. I was like, oh, I'll be able to get this right away. Let's see. Yeah. And so it's just like, okay, great. They just went and did it. More of that lawsuit that, hey, the people from Unknown Worlds that got fired. There's a lot of stuff coming there. One of the funniest things coming out of this is they were like, we needed to fire one of the founders because he was working on a movie. Well, he's working on 2 movies. One does look fucking like shit, like complete dog shit. Don't get me wrong. But the other one apparently was a movie based on Subnautica, and they wanted him to do it. It was like one of his jobs. So that he's arguing that's the only job he was working on. He's also working on some kind of, so like one of the people from Unknown Worlds that got fired, probably illegally, probably so that they didn't have to pay out the all this money to them, is was also and is also currently working on a really ugly ass looking movie using AI, artificial Gen AI, I should say, generative AI. That is true. I don't, it's one of those things like that isn't disqualifying from like what they did to these three people. If one of these people has a really stupid idea of what technology can be used to make a movie, a spiritual successor to Elf is what this man has said out loud in view of people as he works on his bullshit AI movie. Cool. But that does not excuse the fact that it's very clear that like shit, like, to me as an outsider, it really does look like Crafton was like, we don't like where this game is going, and we do not want to pay money out if it doesn't look like this game is going to make us money. So let's just delay it and get rid of people. Also, it sounds like the guy they hired to replace them is the person that fired them when he wasn't an employee at Crafton yet. And that seems, if that's true, that's fucking insane. But that has been alleged that they're like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. Emails came from the guy who was replacing them, who hadn't been hired there yet. I want to see if I can find that part. They state I can't find this thing, but it was wild to see that. We'll see. We'll see what happens if and when this goes to trial. If there's a settlement, what becomes of it? But it is kind of fucking wild that this is all coming out. And then there's a bunch of people who are working on a video game who hopefully get to put that video game out, and people that are psyched to play that game get to play that game. But holy shit, lots of nonsense going on with there. Let's see. Bulkhead is laying some people off. That's the people that bring you War Dogs. The studio CEO just announced a demo for Gamescom. And then while he was doing that, this is a UK studio known for Battalion 1944, War Dogs, and the Turing test, I should say. And a bunch of employees are just like posting to LinkedIn about getting laid off. And at the same time, they're on LinkedIn going like, I got laid off. This sucks. Joe Brammer, the CEO, was posting on LinkedIn about like, hey, if you're a publisher at Gamescom, we've got a demo we'd love you to see. And it's just like, oofta. Fucking oofta, my guy. Like, bad timing. If you're a publisher looking for IP and to pick up a game 12, 18 months from release, come and play it. Serious interest only. Not time for posturing, is what this fucker said. Quality assurance, principal tools engineers, lead concept artists, technical director, senior programmer. It doesn't seem to be like a ton of layoffs, but there were some layoffs, and it's just the timing of it, of them doing this. Let's see. They also canceled last year Transformers Reactive. And then they laid people off last year. So this is not the first layoffs that they've had. Secret Six Madrid are going to be going on strike. This was a thing they were looking to. This is their Secret Six Madrid are owned by their parent company, Testronic, and they claimed that there had been labor laws violated. This is a Spanish developer, and they were purchased 3 years ago, and then they basically kind of shuttered one of the Spain locations. And now they're basically just like, yeah, we're going on strike, which, you know, they are a union, and they're going to be doing. I don't pretend to be an expert in Spanish labor laws, but it seems like, yeah, they're just like they feel like the company was sold and then they haven't been supported in any way, shape, or form by their new parent company. So they're going on strike, and good for them. Good on them. Good luck to them. Let's see. We'll see what happens, but yeah, good luck to them. Let's see, any other stories here? There are also layoffs about what appears to be 300 people from Virtuous. They are a sports studio. They helped with Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, and they are also worked on Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is coming out, the Snake Eater remake. They're cutting about 300 jobs. And also, this is hours after they announced that they had worked on the latest Cyberpunk 2077 patch that's coming out, which apparently fixes like a big thing that has been like a long time coming. Of course, they are work for hire, but it's still fucking frustrating to have the studio be like, hey, we worked on this thing and it's coming out. And then be like, oh, also, some of these people don't work here anymore. 300 of them. This is apparently about 7% of the work of the staff, which is a lot. Apparently, I had no idea that the support studio had over 4,000 employees. Obviously now under 4,000 employees. A lot of it from their Chinese studio. And yeah, they are a sports studio for hire, and now they're just laying off a bunch of people. More details, I'm sure, at some point, but that just sucks. And here's a public service announcement. If you want to become a YouTuber and you want to specialize in reviewing retro consoles, make sure that they don't have ROMs on them. That they're not pre-installed with ROMs, I should say. Make sure they're not pre-installed with ROMs when you decide to review those consoles if you are in Italy. Italian YouTuber Francisco Cellini, once were nerd. What's their YouTube name? Basically had his house raided by Italian police. Took about 30 consoles, including retro emulation handhelds. They also took his phone for a long time, too. While I am no expert in Italian law, according to this article on Kotaku, law enforcement are not required to disclose what he's being charged with, or if he's going to be charged with anything, or who brought charges against him. But he believes he will go to trial, and it looks like he's probably it might be it's Italy's Ministry of Economy and Finance. He may have violated a law that was written in 1941, which does involve jail time. I know he started a GoFundMe to help cover legal costs because the lawyer that he has consulted says they do believe that it will go to trial. So, ROMs, kind of a gray market, kind of a gray matter. Don't let people know that you have ROMs, I guess. Probably should have reviewed consoles, retro consoles, and said, and of course, everything on here is stuff that I have legally added. But also fairly draconian. Seems to be kind of like, is this a thing? Like, it's one of those things. It is my understanding those billion different emulator handhelds out of China all come loaded with ROMs already. Yes, that's what we were saying, is that it's they don't know. He does not know for sure why this happened, but he suspects it's because that some of the handhelds that he had reviewed are preloaded with ROMs. It is a thing where you're like, is this the best use of the police? And the answer is always no, it's not. This is not a good use of the Italian police to raid the home and confiscate all this stuff and go to trial for something like this. Like, no, obviously, fucking no, this is not. But that is never the actual point of these things. It's never that. It's never... Oh, did I put this? I put this fucking together wrong? I put this together wrong, I think. Or I did that wrong. Okay. Sorry. This has got to go like that. And then this goes this. Sorry. I couldn't get this arm together. It's because I did it wrong. But yeah. It just feels like a complete waste of time and energy. But you know, what do I know? I'm just a guy. I'm not in the Italian government. But that does feel like a ridiculous use of the police's time. We will talk about some anime that I've been watching in the second hour. After a brief, kind of pause here, we'll talk about ways you can support the channel and all that stuff. We'll start working on the legs here and the feet and get that all together, because we can't do that at the same time. So we will be doing that. But the top half of this kit is done and looking fucking rad as fuck. It's looking great. I love this goddamn kit. The Vidar is so cool with its fucking front of the leg boosters and long ass side skirts. And hopefully, in the high grade, the side skirts were not great. But my hope is that the master grade version, I should say, is superior. That's my hope anyway. Before we can do all of that, we do need to do a pause for the cause, talk about ways you can support the channel and do all that stuff. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build with Baer Workshop, you can throw at this time, if you'd like, the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here financially through cash money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, link with your Twitch, you get a token. You can use that token for anybody. If you want to use that token for me, you can, and it will be cool. Another way to support me is to gift a sub. If you want to be somebody that gifted a sub in the community, you could do that. We are almost at the point where all my gift subs end from last month, from my subathon, my birthday subathon. So I will be putting the little notes that say how many we need. Right now, there's nothing for that because I'm not running that goal. But eventually, I will have to do that again. It is what it is. If you want to support me and you don't want to go through Amazon, or no, sorry, I mean Twitch is an affiliate of Amazon, it's part of Amazon. So if you don't want to go through Twitch, I get that. But you could join me on Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier over there on Patreon. So you could support me over there if you wanted to. the different rewards, the different tiers, I would say consider it. See if you want to do that. If there's something over on the Patreon that you'd like to get in on, we'd love to have you over there on that Patreon. My Amazon, YouTube. I'm getting all discombobulated here. I got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you can subscribe, of course. But, hey, maybe you want to become a member. $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. My most recent videos doing pretty good. We'll talk about more about that later, but you could have seen that before. The thing that came out yesterday for everybody else, you could have seen that on Tuesday. Those are monthly ways to support me. If you would like to help me out once in a while, you could always throw something in my Ko-Fi or my PayPal directly. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and out of that fund I pull money out to buy model kits and Lego sets. I've got a backlog of stuff that I just purchased. Hey, my backlog will soon have the G-Quarks, or the G-Quaks, however you want to call it. I bought a new Gundam, and we're going to build it in the future. Right now, we're working on the Vidar, and then we're going to work on the a kit that I also bought with funds from y'all. I'm going to take a break and work on the Shining Gundam. But if you want to have a say in what I build in the future, you could buy something off my Amazon wish list. Everything purchased off my wish list, I make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing that got purchased, and it jumps the queue and becomes the next thing I work on. I've got this like SD kit that I'll be working on in the future. There could be other stuff that I work on, and you could have a say in what that is. I've got model kits and Lego sets. I've got a jigsaw puzzle on this list. All kinds of different things and things that I would love to work on. If you see something on my wish list and you're like, dang, that's a food truck, a Lego food truck that has a big donut at the top of it. I'd like Pat to build that donut Lego set. Yeah, that's got a big donut. You could pick that up and I'll build it. If you're like, I'd like to see Pat build this like ninja mech that has like sakura flowers on it. Like, yeah, you could buy that and I'll build it. Like, you could do that if you wanted to. You don't gotta, but you could. There's a bunch of different things and things on this wish list that I'd be happy to put together. If you see something there that you'd like to see me tackle, yeah, pick it up. Lots of different, some old model kits, some new model kits, some new Lego, some older Lego, mini Goku and mini Vegeta model kit that come together. Yeah, see if there's something there you'd like to have me put together, and you can pick that up and send it to me. If you would like to support me and buy something for me to build, but you don't want to go through Amazon, which I get, you can always go to my Throne wish list. It's a nice alternative to Amazon. Or you go to USA Gundam Store. If you want to support me, but it's got to be convoluted and it require a lot of steps, you go to USA Gundam Store. You buy a gift card there. They will send you a gift card code in an email. Then you can use that gift card code, or you can send me the gift card code via DM on Blue Sky or Mastodon or Twitter, or send me a private message here on the old Twitch, or request to send me a message, request a friendship. So you can send me a message on the Discord. You got a variety of ways to support me if that's something you'd like to do. If you want to do that. Let's see. If you want to support me and not spend any money, you can always join my Discord. We got a cool Discord. We'd love to have you hang out there on the old Discord if you want to. A couple of video links for check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. My most recent episode is me talking about all the isekai that are out this season. And I know what you're saying. Pat, isn't that golf series... that bowling series, is the bowling series an isekai? And the answer to that is, I don't know. I think it's just a time travel show, but it might be an isekai, and I might have put that episode out before this video out before I fully understood. As of right now, I don't think it's an isekai, but it could be. I should look to see if it got added. Did they add it to the list? So Annie Chart says it's not an isekai. Maybe it is. I don't know. As of right now, it's not on the isekai list. So I don't think it is. Because I think that one's just time travel. I don't know. I haven't watched the bowling show. As soon as I found out it wasn't just a girls doing things show, I kind of was like, I'll watch it later then. So I don't know. Anyway, speaking of anime I have watched, this week's Kuma Bear is yet again me talking about some of my favorite shows from last season, and I talked about Catch Me at the Ballpark, a phenomenal series that is supposedly a romantic comedy, but it's really just a workplace sitcom where all of the supporting characters are really great and super awesome, and it's a really fun time. And for whatever reason, this video has led to the most comments I've ever gotten on a Kuma Bear, and they're all about the box tops of the model kits that I have in the background. Which I'm not going to show you here, but you know from previous streams and such that I have a wall full of the boxes, and people were asking me about Gunpla, which is very funny. I was like, that's hilarious. So I don't know, watch that video because I would like you to watch that video. It's doing well for me, which is good. I've got more anime to talk about. And we got to keep working on this model kit because now we got to start working on some legs and feet and all that stuff. And we need to talk about some anime. Before I do all of that, we have to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera. And I've got to drink a beverage because I'm thirsty. And we're going to do that right now. All right. So I'm going to keep talking about City as long as you understand that I am talking about the plot points of City and the plot points of New Panty Stocking with Garterbelt. Both of these are comedies. One is a gross out comedy. One is just like a surreal comedy that it's a surreal comedy that believes that it is a grounded slice of life, but it's not grounded. It's not a grounded slice of life. It's a weird show made by a weirdo that is very fun and funny. It is genuinely super funny, but like you have to remember that it presents itself as if it is just a normal slice of life. So I'll talk about the plot points here. Just realize that like everything is exaggerated and everything is very silly and good. City is currently it's on Amazon Prime. And if you have Amazon Prime, please watch City. It's so fucking good. And I don't think I do it justice by telling you like the beats of it, but knowing that I need to talk about this weekly on the stream means that I definitely watch it. And so, and it's great. So there is a City South High soccer team. Takawaku and the other members of the team are talking about plans to protect their star player, Sasago, from injury. And then he gets fucking in. Basically, they have all these wild ideas of what could happen and what they need to do to prevent that. And then all those things happen and he just gets hurt. And again, is it funnier than it sounds? 100%. The slow-mo in this is so fucking funny. Meanwhile, Nagamo, Nikikaru, and Waku meet, and this is going to be a big thing, the three of them together, and are friendly, and this is going to be a thing that we see throughout the series, is their budding friendship. It's going to get funnier and funnier as they hang out together. Um, Later, Nagamo and Nikikura follow a guide from Weekly City in order to charm people to get raises, and they follow this guide of like how to butter people up and how to like get ahead in the workplace, and it doesn't fucking work at all. They do not get ahead, and they feel very foolish for trying that way and for failing, basically. It's a good bit of business. Nikura recalls that she was charmed by Nagamo's charisma. Basically, he had Nagamo had the Riz when they were in high school. Matsuri and Echan, who we met in the first episode, talk about trying to make people's prayers come true. And apparently Echan was just like, oh, by the way, I'm moving far away. Totally forgot to tell you, which is a wild thing. It's a wild beat on this, like, kind of these two characters just seem to have like poignant moments that then just get interrupted by jokes, like devastating deadpan jokes, which is a fucking winning combination. At Weekly City headquarters, which is the newspaper, Todoroki and I think Kamaboko is the name. Yeah. That is the weekly magazine. So these are the people that exchange farewells, because the final issue of the manga, the long-running manga, Mr. Bummer, aka one of the best dumb names for a thing in all of anime and manga history, the fact that they called this thing Mr. Bummer, it thrills me to no end. But they talk about the end of Mr. Bummer, how it's now over. Except it's not. Because they have this, again, very poignant goodbye. And then Todoroki's like, we need you to reform. We need you to reform and revive Mr. Bummer, because the person we hired to be the new manga artist is unavailable. Basically, they were like, we're going to cancel this long-running thing, and we've got a replacement mangaka to do a new work, and then they got fucking busy. So, hey, guess what? You've got your job back. And it's just so fucking pitiful. Yes, the anime version of Debbie Downer, Lord Gresham says, yeah, a little bit. Maybe this would have hit a little harder and been a little funnier if we didn't just have the previous scene of like, oh, by the way, I'm moving. But it still hit pretty fucking hard of just like, oh, by the way, I'm working. By the way, I want you to bring back your manga. We fucked up. We done goofed. Really good. We have a nice long for this show segment of Nikura trying desperately not to pick up this 500 yen coin on the ground. Because she's like, oh, I shouldn't take this. I shouldn't beat this. And then she's mad at her conscience, who is physically manifested at the end. And that's how this episode ends. Very silly moment on that. The whole thing is so goofy. City is a goddamn joy. It might not be for everyone. I don't know if my kind of summaries of this does the show justice, but I think it fucking rules. It's so fun. Midori and Wako especially are phenomenal. Kyoto is just nailing it. It's gorgeous looking. I really like the manga. I'm so thrilled we get more of this. If you watched some of Nichijou and you did not like Nichijou, I don't think this is going to be for you because it's kind of this. It's not the same, but the vibes are similar. Like that was a follow up. This is the follow up manga to that manga, and so this is the follow up anime to that anime. But it's a great production, and it's just fucking good, man. It's just a good time. I don't know what to tell you. It's my favorite show of the season. I guess I'll say that. Like by far, I'm enjoying Water Magician certainly, and I think this adaptation is a little fucking rushed. We're already, the episode that I watched a little bit of that I'll be talking more about on Saturday because I didn't finish the episode. Already we're in the town, and I don't love that, but it's still real good. New Panty. Yeah, I asked some people I know who are Nichio sickos if I enjoy City or if the vibe was the same. Heard it's the same, so I'm skipping it. Yeah, Lashbrook, like I said, if you didn't like Nichijou, if you did not like that somewhat non sequitur, taking absurdism very seriously and play like Nichijou is the same kind of thing. It's a slice of life that's bizarre as shit, but everyone involved in it everyone in the show treats it like it is just a slice of life about like normal people. It ain't. And so, yeah, so City is probably not right for you if that's not the kind of thing you're looking for. Like, the closest modern example is My Dear Friend Nokotan, which has more elements of... It is absurdist. Nokotan is a little bit more... was a little bit more, like, action-y and fantasyful, Pop Team Epic is frantic in its nonsense, so I wouldn't compare the two, because again, it's the slice of life element. It is approaching a slice of life that just happens to be very weird and very funny. And I get if that's not your bag. And if that's not your bag, then it might not be the show for you. I think it's really good, though. Now, Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt. We got 2 episodes here. They're kind of finally after the first episode, which basically exists to just kind of maybe retcon, maybe explain like why one character fucking died. Like why Stocking was suddenly a demon instead of a fallen angel. Why Panty died. Panty got brought back to life, so don't worry about it. Panty got brought back to life. And Stocking was being mind controlled by Corset, so it was all Corset's problem. Meanwhile, at the end of the last episode, the King of Hell was talking to Garterbelt, and I was like, "Uh-oh, is that a problem?" I didn't remember, and this second episode did clue me into a thing that I did not remember, which is that Scanty and Knee Socks, who are the opposites of Panty and Stocking, get it? They're sisters. They're demon sisters from Hell. They're the daughters of the King of Hell. They're also banned from Hell. It's the dichotomy. And I'd forgotten that very important detail, that as Panty and Stocking are shitty angels who were kicked out of heaven and have to earn their way back to heaven, these are shitty demons who were kicked out of hell and have to earn their way back to hell. And basically all of them kind of realize, okay, I guess we need to work together because otherwise we're not going to be able to pull this off. So the Demon Sisters and Panty and Stocking, they all have a job. They all basically have a deal, which is, hey, a bunch of ghosts keep coming out of Hell's Gate. And that sucks, and you got to stop that. And if you do, you'll get some coins. So they'll get some hell coins, and so they got to work together, which they do. the Anarchy Sisters and the Demon Sisters, they're working together by competing against each other, which we all could see immediately. Hey, that's going to be a fucking disaster. That's not going to work right. That ain't going to work good. And it doesn't, because they have a bunch of goofiness and nonsense that does not work out for them. They destroy a bunch of ghosts at a diner, and then they accidentally have an explosion which merges a bunch of the ghosts together. And then a remix of the season 1 theme plays, and it fucking rules during this transformation. And I was like, suddenly it was 2011 all over again. And I was just like, fuck yeah, man. And the animation just fucking kicks into high gear. And it was just a fucking cool as hell moment. Just like a unbelievably cool moment in the show. But all 4 of them have to work together to defeat this big ghost. And each pair of siblings gets 1 coin for their trouble, which is on the way. They're on their way to getting this, to getting shit done. It turns out that in addition to getting the doing jobs which will lead them back into heaven, Panty owes $3 trillion to the city of Dayton, Dayton City, because of all of the collateral damage from her big fight with Stocking. Now, I don't understand why Stocking doesn't have to pay for it. Stocking was hypnotized and are brainwashed, so I guess that means that's why she doesn't have to do it. But for whatever reason, Panty has to owe all this money. So it's just like, okay. Again, not really sure why it's all on Panty to do this, but it is all on Panty to pull this off. Let me get this piece together here then we'll talk more about this. Brief gets her a job at a trading card game store, and she fights against a ghost to win a one-of-a-kind card, which is worth a lot of money. And so she has like a battle, and this game is mostly... The card is definitely a version of the Black Lotus, and this is a combination of Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! Because there are cards that look like variations of Blue Eyes White Dragon as well, but it's probably Magic the Gathering, but also there's some Yu-Gi-Oh! You get it. It's a little column A, a little column B, and pretty fun. Pretty good. The goofs here, pretty good. Oh, sorry. There we go. The goofs are pretty solid. And she does win this game, and it's a fun bit of business. And then it turns out, actually, oops, the card has been reprinted and does not give as much money anymore. It has lost a lot of its value. But don't worry, because the card is still worth some money. And then also Panty can sell her underwear to Brief for the money. So she has the money to pay people back with what was left of the card value and also her underwear. But then she doesn't use that money to pay people back. She uses that money to buy a bunch of fashion stores, like an outlet of fashion, of clothing stores. Why? Who knows? Will that be a plot point in next episode? Probably. Look, Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt, new Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt is probably not going to be for everybody. It's still very crass. It looks really good. It's still like a weird thing from Trigger. I like that now that episode 1 was, hey, shit, we got to fucking figure out what happened at the end of the first season, huh? Okay. Here's why that happened. Here's the fallout of that. Great. They did that. And then episode 2 now is like, well, what's this season about? And it seems to be these characters trying to, once again, clean up issues in the city, get back to either heaven or hell, and then maybe work together. And that is like a very loose plot, but it is a plot. It is some kind of plot. And it's nice that there is something. There's something going on here. Sorry, I gotta figure out. This goes on like this. I think this goes on like that. And then this goes on like this. And then this snaps into that. Yeah. Like anything else in this master grade, the feet are complicated. So we did on one side. Now we'll do it on to other side. So yeah, that is Panty Stocking. I'm definitely gonna give it a third episode for sure. I like this first episode, I like the first episode a lot because it had it was like closure. Like I said, it's been years of like wondering why the fuck that happened, and when season 2 was seemingly right around the corner and then just didn't fucking happen. It's really nice to have a little bit of closure for that series, and now there's just more of it. So that's also good. Now we get the continuing adventures of this silliness. Very happy about that. And that is the anime talk for tonight's stream. What's happening here? Oh, there it is. That's what's going on. I had one of the sprues was on my keyboard. I was like, what? What's going on? Why am I scrolling? There's a very good reason for that. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you up to? What are you into? What are you watching right now? What are you playing? Did you do anything fun this week? You got any plans for the weekend other than being here on Saturday for my cool stream? What do you got going on? What are you up to? What are you into? I always love hearing from you about those things, so please let me know in the chat. And while I'm giving you time to write, I will tell you I had pizza tonight. It was real good. There's one place down here that I would say is like the best possible you could get in this area for South Carolina. So I had some pizza. Very happy about that. There's some leftovers. That's probably my lunch tomorrow. My dad is going to decide if he wants to have those slices or if he wants me to have those slices and eat them for him. So I was like, okay. So that's great. Tomorrow I am going to watch Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, which happened the same weekend as All In, and I did not watch it live because I was not super invested in it. But I am going to watch it tomorrow with some friends, and that will be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Because I kind of want to see. I've heard very good things. We're just going to watch the main card and not the pre-show. I've heard very good things about this show, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. The old Super Card of Honor. On Tuesday, if you were not here, if you missed Tuesday's stream, I played Hearthstone. I had 2 new decks that use the new cards from the latest expansion. And that was very fun to try that out. So I played a bunch of that, and then I also augmented one of my decks to just kind of see how that was going to go with some new cards. Not all of my decks had new cards, or not all my decks benefited from new cards. We did a little deck doctoring, and I had a lot of fun with that. Deck doctoring is just there's a new card that I was like, does this card work in my Death Rattle deck? Even though it replays Death Rattles, it doesn't replay Death Rattles it just plays minions Death Rattles, not Death Rattles triggered by spells. So, okay, that's not worth it for what I want. That's not what I want in these. Okay. So I was like, good to know. Moved on with that. No new cards in that deck, but it's still a good deck. And then my big shaman deck. There are some new cards in that deck that are very good. I got 3 new cards in that deck, or 2 new cards, but 2 copies of one, and that's been really good. So yeah, so that was Hearthstone. I've joked about this before, But if I ever was like, I'm not going to play new games on Tuesday, and if I just had to pick one game to play every Tuesday, it would be Hearthstone. It would probably be very bad for me long term because it is not the most popular thing in the world. So it would probably be bad as far as viewership goes, but I could keep playing it. I had a good time. It was very laid back on the stream. I just played casual games because I was trying to try these decks out, and show these decks off, and not like win a bunch of stuff or win. I still had a good win rate, but again, that was partially because I was just trying out those decks and doing a little deck doctoring. And I even on the stream, did some deck doctoring with one of my new decks. And I'll tell you this, win rate has gone up on that deck. Since I added a couple taunts, it has really made a big difference in delaying my opponent's turns. I don't know if it's a consistently better deck. It still doesn't have a win condition. It has a quest, and it has a way to play that, complete the quest, which is great. Okay, these are the feet, and the feet, I guess, at this point are done. I imagine there's more that goes on here. Let me look ahead. Yeah, there's a bunch of armor that goes on these feet once the legs are done. So we're not going to panel line any of this until we put armor on it, because I think a lot of this is going to get covered up. So wait on that. But we did do the feet here, so we can move on to the right leg frame. We'll get some of the right leg frame done here. We'll put those away. And I can read what y'all been writing. This weekend, going to watch wrestling tomorrow. As I said, Saturday is my, for me anyway, is a big stream because that's my 8th anniversary stream. So I'm excited about that. I hope you can come hang out on Saturday for a little of that fun, because it will be fun. It'll be a good time. Working on a kit that I built on my very first stream. I worked on my very first stream, several streams, and we'll be building that. So we are going to take a pause on the Vidar. It's just the timing of it, unfortunately. No disrespect to this kit. This is a fantastic kit. But yeah, I'm going to take a pause on that, and so I can work on the on the other one. So I think that'll work out okay and be fun to work on an old kit that I worked on many moons ago. Shining, and that Master Grade does have screws. So I do have the screwdriver for that, because it is the era where they were trying to solve problems by putting screws in the kit. And we'll talk about, one of the big elements of things that we'll talk about on Saturday is the history of me doing this. And I've talked about the why and the beginning days a bunch, but we'll talk more about that. I think it'll be good. Let's see. Ghost Valve's here. Hey, Ghost Valve, happy to have you here. And Ghost Valve says, I started up Pokemon Scarlet again, enjoying the dog anime since it seemed to have kept a lot of the whimsy. Doing occasional MTG Arena when I get the chance. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying some shows. I should say, season 2 of Reincarnated as a vending machine. I now wander the dungeon. Still real good. Season 2 still going strong. Check that shit out if that's the thing you're looking for. Real good still. Lord Crash says, I put Golden Tee Arcade Classic Collections. You got the Golden Tee Arcade Classic Collections that Digital Eclipse did, and it's a neat collection. It supports the touchpad on the PS5. Ooh, okay. That's cool. That's smart and good of them to do that. I don't know why I can't get this piece to line up here, so hold on. I'll figure that out in a second. So I get as close as of analogous experience to using a trackpad as I can. That is cool. That is a cool bit of business. I'm glad that they made sure that could happen. All right, there we go. That was a tight fit there. It might be that I was doing it wrong, but I don't think I was doing it wrong. All right, so we got that in there. And then, all right. Now I need C19. Another one of these pieces here. Let's see. Lastbrick says, I finally beat System Shock 2. Hell yeah. The final battle was unfortunately very weak, but I would say overall it was better than the first one. I mean, it's been a long time, but I would tend to agree with you that I appreciated 2 more than 1. I think they learned a lot from making 1, and it made 2 way better because of it. Which was good timing because DK Bonanza came out today, and it's pretty fun. Yeah, I've heard good things about that Donkey Kong. I haven't seen anybody playing it yet. I believe Arthur Geese is playing it, so we might rate Arthur tonight. I don't know if he'll still be playing it. I believe Arthur was planning to play it, so we should probably check in with Mr. Geese on that. See how that's going. D17. Get that going here. And then Lord Crashton says, gotta put the pieces in a bag like C-3PO near the end of Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. We will take a break on this kit, as I said, which is fine. And I'll come back to it. Hopefully not confused. I will do the same thing I do with a Sharpie and circle on this where I have left off. Which will hopefully be good when we come back to it. I could also watch the end of this video when this archive goes up, which I don't normally do for model kit building. I don't normally go back and see, like, where did I leave off on this kit? But it's always an option. I always have the option to do it, which is pretty cool. Because the archives are all still there. Oh, I'll need this in a second. So yeah, I always have the option to do that. All right, so I need to put this piece in here first. And then this goes in like this. And then this goes in like that. Now just make sure that this is lined up right. Use my spudger here. Pop that in place. Whoops. Popped out too much. Too much. There we go. Nice. Oh, one thing I wanted to say. Water Magician. I've been talking about that. That is one of my favorite shows of the season. That's definitely my favorite isekai of the season. That is... the dub has started. And the dub is over on Crunchyroll. And let me make sure that I have the last name correct. Because I forget Dallas's last name. Dallas Reed. You may know them as the English voice of Asta from Black Clover, one of my favorite shows of the last decade or two. But yeah, Dallas was the voice of Asta. They are now the voice of Ryo, the main character in The Water Magician. I have not listened to their voice. I would like to see that. Because I don't generally watch dubs. But very happy. Dallas is also a duder. Dallas has been a long-time Giant Bomb person and kept up with Nextlander and the like. And that's why I know them is because back on the old Twitter and now also on Blue Sky, but originally back on Twitter, Dallas followed me and I was like, why is the voice actor for Asta following me? Does this person follow people that talk about Black Clover? Like, that was my first thing. I was like, but then I looked like, no, they don't follow a lot of people. Why is this voice actor following me? And it's because this voice actor was really into Giant Bomb. And so I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Also, Dallas is cool. But yeah. If you prefer your anime dubbed instead of subbed, there is a dub for Water Magician. I'm very happy that got it because not a lot of isekai get dubs these days. And there's there's a shittier one out there. Seventh Prince is out there as well because I just find that to be just unbelievably bad as a whole thing. Every element of that. I'll probably watch like the last fight in this season. When we get to the end of the season, there will probably be a fight that I'm like, oh, I should watch that. but because the fight scenes in that show aren't bad, but the cherubic nature of all of the characters just I find unpleasant to look at. Lord Crash's been watching the new King of the Hill. Lord Crash has been watching the old, because I was going to say, the new King of the Hill is not fucking out yet. What's going on? Lord Crash has been watching King of the Hill while you wait for the new season. That show still holds up so well. The Thanksgiving Airport episode is so good. Yes, the last time I watched some King of the Hill, I did remark to myself, shit's still pretty fucking funny. And I stand by that. I do think that show does hold up. In a way that some other of Judge's works don't hold up as well. So, yeah. I still think there's a lot of good to be had with that show. A lot of cool shit going on there. So, yeah, that's cool. Okay, so we got to go this way. Got to put this piece in like this. This piece is going to go here. Okay, like that. And then this is going to go like this. And then this goes like this. And I think I just did that properly. We'll find out. Yeah, okay, so that goes like that. And then this is going to go like that. Yep, that's got some give to it, I think. Oh, no, I did do this incorrectly. This is on backwards, which makes sense now that I look at it, that is on back there. Also, RIP to Dale and John Redcorn's voice actors. Yes, the voice actor for John Redcorn did pass away pretty recently, and Dale's voice actor has been gone for a bit. But yes, that's true. All right, so I did this wrong, and so I need to do this correctly. This goes like this. This goes like this. Okay, I don't know. This goes like that. Let me make sure this is B5. I'm going to make sure I have the right piece here. B5 is been removed from this one, so that is B5. Okay. So this goes like that. Doesn't feel right, but okay. All right, and that, yep, that looks like that. Cut those out. B5 goes this, facing this way. And then this goes like this. All right. Think I've done this correctly. We'll find out as we move on. That doesn't seem right, but okay. We'll see. And then I need to tightly fit these as tight as possible. C17. View from the side. C17. Oh, okay. Hoses. Fun. Very detailed. Master grade. Hey, who would have guessed a 2025 master grade where a lot of the inner frame is from a kit from a few years ago, but still a very modern kit? Who would have guessed that this kit is very detailed? All right, so I think this goes like this, and then it goes. No, how does that go though? Go like that? How it goes? Okay, so that goes in like that. Yeah, and then these go into there. When I look at that, that seems to be correct. Okay. I'm guessing you saw that there's a space adventure Cobra game coming out soon. Yeah. That doesn't really do much for me. But yes, I did see that. Put that there. And then, oh, this one has a bunch of extra parts going into it. We'll try to get that done here. Let's see if we can get like this step done here. So we need B15. B15 is bingo right here. B15. Okay, so we'll get that piece out. B15 is there. And then we need C18. Which is another one of these little like peg things here. 19, C18 is this piece. Okay, so C18 goes there. And then going into that is F10 and then F12. And the other thing, I said F10 and I almost said F14 just out of habit. And I don't talk about the F14 that often. It's just what came out of my mouth. That was weird. Was not expecting to say that. So that's the F10 that goes there. And this is the F14. F12. I said it again. Jesus. That's weird. That is a weird thing. Weird vocal tick. But we'll finish this up before we close up the stream for tonight. And then more good stuff coming on Saturday. All right. So this goes into this piece here. And then this slides in here in this empty space. But then I don't know where else this goes here. Goes there. Ah, okay. There is a slot for this. Okay, so that goes like that. Got it. And then this goes in here. Yes. Complicated. A lot of stuff going on this kit. I am not complaining about that. It is nice to have a detailed kit like this. It's just there's a lot going on. So like I said, like doing this, the other one should be easier, except I will take what will probably be like a week and a half to 2 weeks to maybe a week and a half to do that master grade. Or so coming back, this will feel old when we come back to this. But this is the next step that we have to do, which is more of the legs here, which we will do as we continue. I just got to remember to turn this around and stick it in there. But really detailed. God damn, this is a detailed step going here. And then we have to put the leg on and then put on a little piece that connects the two parts there. So we'll wait on that. But we did finish the top part of the kit, and we got a bunch done here on the lower part. We still have many more streams to go of this. But as I said, we will be taking a pause from building this. We'll put all this on here so it can kind of pop a little better behind that. But yes, we will be taking a pause as I build this, and then I will resume building this on another stream. We are going to end with a raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff and go spend some time with them. As I get ready for this raid, reminder, my next stream is this Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, and it is my 8th anniversary stream. I will be starting the Shining Gundam Master Grade, and we will complete the Shining Gundam Master Grade, and then when that is completed, we will then jump over to resuming the kit that I'm working on now, the Vidar. So come back for that. But I did want to promote that just one more time because that is the next stream. Let's see. Dan Reichert is playing Donkey Kong. I don't know how much longer Dan will be streaming Donkey Kong, but we are gonna go raid that because that's fun. That's a fun thing to do. We'll go raid Dan Dan Reichert and check out with him as he plays some Donkey Kong. I hope you can come along on this raid. It'll be fun. Dan's got a good community of dorks. And so we'll have a fun time over there. Come along on this raid as we go watch Dan play some Donkey Kong. And then come back on Saturday for a good times. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.